Hello, friends. Welcome aboard the Round Trip Stories podcast, where we share stories of moving around the world and back again, reflecting on the lessons we've learned along the way. My name is Melissa.
And my name is Tracy, and we are so glad you're joining us for today's episode. Welcome back to part 2 of our interview with Aileen Hendratna, Indonesian-American agriculture scientist who feels most at home in international communities. She studied her master's in water resource management in Sweden for over 2 years until financial challenges had her return to California. Aileen's transition back home to the Bay Area and Central Valley of California was a lonely experience, and she could not find the international community that she was so used to. With God's help and guidance, she recognized that He had a purpose for her here in California, and being in her new place, too, was a gift which was entrusted to her. So buckle your seatbelts and make sure your tray tables and seats are in their upright positions as part 2 of Aileen's round trip story gets ready for takeoff. We are back with part 2 of Aileen Hendratna's interview, and we are going to talk about her return from Sweden to California and how that went. So Aileen, tell us about when and why you decided to come back to the U.S. from Stockholm.
Why I left? Because I ran out of money.
There we go. It's a good reason.
That'll do it.
Well, yep. Since school was free, I was paying for my own cost of living, but that only lasted for 2 years, which I had hoped that I would be able to finish and graduate. But of course, that didn't happen. I had a delay, so my parents helped me out to stay for another semester to start my thesis project and to finish up. So I was able to finish the project and defended it, and then time to go home because no more money, and I had not even written my thesis yet, so I just left. And even my siblings bought me the one-way ticket home.
Aww. Thank you, brother and sister.
Yes.
And then, tell us about where you landed and then what you did at that point.
Okay, so that was, I believe, around summer 2010. And I went back home to my family in the Bay Area. Yeah, I felt my returning was like a closed door, but also God called me to go home. Mm-hmm. And because once I got home, like my sister found out that she's pregnant, and then she had difficulty with her pregnancy that she was unable to tend her store. So I was there. I had nothing to do, so I could go to the store and write my thesis in the downtime and help her out. So
nice.
I've heard other people's stories when they have come home, then all of a sudden there's a lot of things to do, right? Like there's help. You're there for a reason. Like you said, God opened doors for you, even though the Sweden door was shut. And part of that was helping out with family. And I've heard of other people say that too. Like a parent became very ill, and they were there to help. And that's all really valuable.
Right.
So Aileen, tell us about what you're doing now.
Funny story. I'm working at the same place as the one I worked at before I left for Sweden. So
full circle.
Full circle with a twist, though, because I went to Sweden because I was thinking, oh, maybe egg research is not for me. But then I came back and, God gave me science. Okay, ran out of money. You need to come back. So I stayed back. I was looking for jobs. I did not apply to the same position where I was. I applied to other places But then again, my previous boss, she knew that I was coming back, and her assistant just left her. So it's like, hey, I need help. Would you consider coming back working for me again? It can be temporary, a year or two until you find something else. Like, okay, I'll do it.
And how many years ago was that?
12 years.
Okay.
There you go. And Aileen, you work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, right?
That's correct, yes.
So we're going to listen to some stories now about your re-entry transition back into the United States after being in Sweden. So tell us a story about your initial re-entry transition.
It was hard. For one thing, I felt very lonely. Even though I lived it with my family, but I didn't have this shared experience with them. With my life in Sweden, they didn't know anything about it, like how I have evolved. Like they didn't know, like even the environment, the park that I went to, the church that I went to, the people that I met. So that was the loneliest feeling. And on top of that, I struggled with the idea of living big. We have like very large footprints here, I guess. Like we have like big house. We have one big car. And while in Sweden, I was living in a student housing, which is like a corridor with 10 to 12 rooms, and each room is just enough for a bed, a desk, and a own bathroom. So like you have
everything's more compact.
Everything compact, and we shared a kitchen among 12 of us. So, and of course we use public transportation. So, and plus Sweden, I would say that they are more environmentally conscious as a nation. And that I was struggling, like how can I be responsible of owning a car, you know? Like if we're being responsible with materials from cradle to grave. It's like, how am I going to be responsible for this huge car with so many components and metals and resources in there? Like how can I be responsible for their lifetime? You know?
Interesting.
So I had that difficulty in accepting that I will have to drive again and be responsible for this thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. So how do you leave a smaller environmental footprint living in the United States when our cities are built for cars?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you figured it out?
Not really. It's just easier just to accept it.
Yeah. So tell us a story about something that was hard about coming back.
Definitely the loss of international community. And it shocks me how hard it is to find an international community. It's easy to find small groups of one culture.
Right.
Like even with the churches, like it's
Right.
like my family goes to Indonesian church, and there are Korean church, and there are Hmong church. But why isn't there one church that have everybody in it?
Right. Right. That is not as common here. It's
No.
true.
Maybe like on university campuses where there might be an international fellowship,
Right.
but that's a real niche, right?
And people like our age aren't necessarily invited to to the college thing.
That's true. And, oh yeah, that's another thing too, because we got older. I came back, I got older, and the group of friends that I had, some of them moved to different places. Some of them got married and settled. So that added on that lonely feeling that I mentioned earlier.
Right. For sure. So tell us a story about something that helped, either then or has helped since then.
I left Sweden without diploma. So I did not officially graduate. When I left the country, I was still in the middle of working on my thesis project. So there was always a part of me that questioned, like, oh, would I have had future back in Sweden if I had completed my project and graduated? So there was that lingering question, like, oh, was there like a life for me over there? So I got an opportunity to visit Stockholm again in 2014. So that's after a couple of years having a job, working, and I went there. It's important for me because it is sort of like a closure where I had to see with my own eyes, like, how's the life over there. And that was an opportunity to check relationships and friendships with the people that I had met during my school years. And then I guess the important answer that I got from that trip was that it was only an illusion, this hope or question in my mind that there was life waiting for me over there. Because I had seen, oh yeah, my friends had moved on. Like the city had moved on.
Yeah.
Everybody moved on.
Yeah.
So there's no any reason for me not moving on.
Right.
Back in where I am here in Central Valley.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, sometimes I think when we are far away, we have trouble imagining the place that we've left changing, but it does continue to change. It doesn't stay the same as it was when we left. And so that's a really interesting observation.
I guess for a couple of years after coming back, I felt like I don't belong here. Like, I just want to go somewhere else again.
Yep, I felt that.
But somehow God is firm, like, nope, you are meant to stay. All the signs that he gave me is that I'm meant to stay, even though I did not like it. So I guess that the trip to Sweden in 2014 helped to answer one part that, like, okay, everybody is moving on. So that gives me an understanding and courage and motivation, like, okay, I need to move on too. So now looking at where God has put me, like, I'm here. So it's time for me to see what's around me and what I can do with it. What does God want me to do here? Yeah.
And to find the gifts that are available to us that maybe we haven't noticed.
Exactly. Like starting to realize that this is also a gift, not necessarily the fun, dreamy time abroad.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to add a little bit Aileen also encouraged me to go back. And so after 2 years of being here in the U.S., I went back to China and took my kiddos for my 3 boys. And it was great closure. And I know not all of us can do that, but if you can, it's so wonderful to connect with people who are still there, but also understand that a lot of people have left, because in international communities, people come and go, right? There's like this 3-year cycle about, but we also still love the places we loved and loved taking public transportation and, loved our apartment. It was so good. So I'm really glad you suggested that, Aileen. Thank you. All right, Aileen, so tell us about a story about how your time abroad continues to add value to your life now.
Okay. Definitely, I feel that my life in Sweden, I was in this beautiful salad bowl with a mixture of different vegetables and fruits and nuts and very colorful and flavorful.
Of all the international people.
Of all the international people.
All
yes.
the flavors.
Yes. But coming back here, I was struggling to find that bowl that would have that diverse mix of ingredients in it. But then again, it's like answering the question, what is God's purpose for me here? And I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe I can be that kind of bowl. Maybe it's not a big bowl, but maybe like just a spoonful, maybe. And I would welcome this foreign vegetables and fruits and nuts from other countries. So where God put me at my workplace, we often had foreign visiting scientists or PhD students that came from different countries, and they were invited to collaborate and work with us for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And God had blessed me with a 3-bedroom house, and it's only me living in it. So I will welcome them like to stay in my house and become my housemate, so we could have like this shared international experience.
That's great.
Yay.
I love that.
And I got to live across the street from her. I benefited from that, Aileen.
That's very true. So
that's neat.
Since 2012 until 2019, just before pandemic, I had 8 individuals, and sometimes with their spouse and their child or their family. So at the same time, in 2016, I was asked to be a part of a diversity committee at work. And this committee's task is to figure out activities at work that will increase awareness of the diversity and also inclusion. So that was like, oh, I like this. So it got me to think again, like, okay, here we are. We have a task, and let's see what are our resources and who are people in our community. So we will welcome visiting scientists that are from different countries. We will invite them, hey, would you like to talk at our conference room? Just a little bit about your country, about the culture and things like that. So we had done a couple of them. Like we had invited a visiting scientist from Brazil to talk. I myself talked about Indonesia, and there was another coworker from Nepal, and she brought Nepali community in Fresno to come visit.
Wow!
And let the children dance Nepali dance.
awesome.
I didn't even know that there was a community from Nepal in Fresno.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
I love that you have embraced that opportunity that you were given at your work to help foster more international awareness and appreciation in your workplace. That's really great.
All right, so we have these 3 other questions that you can pick one. A, what rhythms do you have in place which allow you to remember your time abroad? B, what do you do with all the feels, memories, relationships, and love for a place and people? Or C, do you have a favorite funny story about your time abroad and transition back?
My story is relevant to about the feels and memories, relationship, and love for the people. Over time, I don't think about them anymore. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things when I'm sure you have experienced it. If you haven't met a friend for a long time, like all this time, you don't miss them. But once you get connected to them, like through a chat or video call, and then, oh my gosh, like I realized that how much I'm missing you. So those type of things. So the story I'm going to share the story happened last October in Dallas, Texas. My parents and I were there for my second cousin's wedding. And at the party, we met a Swedish couple, which happened to be the bride's grandparents' best friend. So, so they flew all the way from Sweden to Dallas, Texas. And and somehow we talked to each other, and then they were, from Sweden. So we got to share this, like, oh yeah, I was there, living there. And they were also very excited to have met somebody who knows Sweden. Yes. So that moment was very, very joyful for me, like to be able to reconnect with something Swedish that is not IKEA.
Yeah.
And during the reception, the dance time, and suddenly the DJ put on the Dancing Queen, ABBA, which is Swedish.
Oh,
and
I didn't even know that.
Okay, so ABBA is Swedish pride. I mean, when I was there, I heard a lot of their songs being played just multiple times in different venues.
Yeah.
So that's when I was aware that ABBA is Swedish. Dancing Queen is Swedish. So that music was on, and I know there were Swedish people on the other side of the venue. And then I'm not a dancer, but I just felt the urge, like, I've got to seize this moment, you know? Like,
yeah.
So,
I love it, Aileen. I love it.
That is sweet.
Yep. So I called them up, and the lady was like, oh, yeah, let's dance this. Like, okay. So we were dancing to the Dancing Queen in Dallas, Texas.
Young and sweet.
Yeah.
Only 17.
Yep.
Love that song.
Yep. And that moment is just very emotional for me. Like, even right now, telling the story, like, I'm tearing up because it's just, like, it's all like all the feels, the memories, like everything just came back.
Yeah.
And it's a gift. That moment was a gift. Yeah.
So, Aileen, what is a last word of encouragement or advice that you could give to our listeners?
So one is that where we are is God's gift, and on the other side of the coin, there is God's purpose. So it's just up to us how we develop this gift, like what God has entrusted us with. And the second thing is that it takes time that you need to be nice to yourself. Give yourself permission if you feel down or you feel like you don't belong or
Yep.
yeah, because it just takes time to accept and resettle, and then when the time comes, it will be clear to you that okay, this is what God is giving me, and and there is a purpose for that, and fine, and God will provide the resources that we need to develop that. So I would liken it like it's like being tasked to create a painting. So you are placed in this environment, and these are the tools and the colors that you can make a painting with, and it's up to you, like how you want to make that painting. Yeah, so
I love that analogy. Because paintings are beautiful, right? Like you had a painting, you made your own painting in Sweden with the tools and colors and canvas that God gave you there, and now you're back. And some of those tools might be different. Some of them, you've brought back tools from Sweden, and you can add those colors to your new painting here.
Right.
But it's a different work of art.
Exactly.
I love that. Thank you, Aileen. Thank you so much for sharing all of your stories with us. It has been a pleasure and honor to record those stories here and then to share them with others. And I know that they will be so encouraged by them.
Thank you so much, Aileen.
The pleasure is mine as well. Thank you for inviting me and hearing my stories.
As we land this interview, we hope that you have been inspired by Eileen's round-trip stories about her repatriation to California from Sweden. Though Aileen felt great loss of her international community and a lack of belonging in the U.S., she consistently returned to God's purpose for her in her new location. She realized that the now is a gift, and the richness of her experience in Sweden could be shared in places like her local work and faith communities. She even won a national award for her work in diversity within the United States Department of Agriculture. Aileen likens this new stage back in the U.S. to a new work of art, and she inspires us to be who we are meant to be, using our God-given gifts and tools wherever we are. No matter what leg of the journey you're on, we are grateful you have brought us along with you.
Come back next time for a Round Trip Stories Customs episode, where we'll reminisce, laugh, and converse about a random topic related to customs and culture. Want to be part of future conversations? Join our email list and get the podcast equivalent of TSA PreCheck, including a sneak peek at upcoming customs topics and an invitation to share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. See the link in the show notes to sign up.
Thanks so much for listening, friends. We'll see you next time.